Hey guys, it's Vase Take, and if you can tell by the title, today is another horror movie review. This one was suggested by my sister as we both grew up watching The Conjuring, and it's still one of the scariest movies I know. And with that being said, if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments because I would love to discover movies based on what you guys have seen. And it doesn't have to be horror, it could be any type of movie. I know that I've been doing horror and thriller. It's because that's like my favorite genre, but I also love genres from different movies, you know. Okay, so now with that being said, let me explain this movie and tell you guys why I think it's one of the scariest movies. So the movie starts off with these roommates who are being disturbed by this doll Annabelle, and so they call upon Ed and Lorraine Warren. They believe that the doll is possessed, and the reason why they believe this is because they had gotten into contact with a medium who told them that there was a little girl named Abigail who had died in their apartment and she was very lonely. They believed she was lonely and wanted to be friends, and so they gave her permission to move into the doll. Yes, they gave this spirit permission to move into I just repeated that, but yes, because it sounds ridiculous. Shortly after that, the doll started doing disturbing things, and so they threw Annabelle away. And then one night, suddenly, it's this loud ass banging coming from outside their apartment, and when they open the door, there's a message from Annabelle, and suddenly she is back in their apartment. The scared roommates are asking Ed and Lorraine for help, and the couple tells them that it was a mistake acknowledging the spirit, as the spirit inside of Annabelle wasn't really after the doll, she wanted to possess them instead. Ed and Lorraine are paranormal investigators, and Lorraine is a gifted clairvoyant. So fast forward, a family with a bunch of kids and a dog move into a new house. Their dog Sadie has no interest in going inside the house though, because she's whining and refusing to go in, obviously. And you know, we all know what's going to happen to the dog. The first night moving in, the kids are playing a game of hide and clap. It's where like one kid is blindfolded and the others have to hide and give claps to give her clues to where they are. It's so funny because why did me and my sister try playing that game after watching this movie, and I have blindfolded myself and I ran into a wall and I cracked my tooth. Yeah. So while playing, they accidentally knock over part of a wall that leads down to a cellar, and I'ma just say God put that there for a reason, but the dad breaks it down and goes to look it over. It's a bunch of old stuff down there, and he tells the girls to stay away from the cellar. The next morning, the dog Sadie is found dead by the youngest daughter, and they really wasted no time. They were like, y'all already know what's gonna happen to the dog, so let's just get it over with and kill it. Meanwhile, Ed is giving a small tour in a room where he keeps his once possessed artifacts. He shows this man Annabelle, and his daughter Judy sneaks down there, and he tells her, like, you know, it's dangerous to be down here, go find your nana, don't be in here. There is also tension between Ed and Lorraine because while working on a job once, Lorraine had an episode that kind of they don't talk about, but it definitely put a toll on their career as paranormal investigators. And so now they're like low-key reluctant to take on new cases. While it's bedtime, something grabs Christine's foot trying to drag her down, but she blames it on Nancy, who is literally laying in the other bed. And then Roger is woken up by his daughter, who sleepwalks, and she is banging her head repeatedly against this dresser. Also, Carol is looking like she's been beaten up in her sleep with bruises appearing all over her. It's a lot happening in a span of a few days that they've been here. So while most of the kids go to school, Caroline plays hide and clap with the youngest daughter, April. And while asking for the last clap, these gray hands reach out and clap from the freaking dresser, and she goes towards it, and the thing is breathing all heavily. And then April comes up from behind her and she's like, girl, I was not even nowhere near this dresser. You were not close to where I was at all. So then she goes to the dresser and there's nothing there. Another night, Joey is getting dragged again, but this time it's more aggressive. The bedroom door starts moving on its own, and she is seeing something that no one else can see. She screams, waking her parents up, and she tells them that whatever it was said that it wants her whole family dead. Late at night, Carol hears laughing and clapping, and so she thinks it's her kids that might be up way past their bedtime, but checking in on all of them, she notices that they're all asleep. Their family pictures are shattered down the stairs, followed by child laughter, and so she's like, oh nah, who the hell is in my house? She looks around by herself, and then the cellar door opened on its own with the sound of something coming from down the stairs. And so she goes to investigate, and she gets pushed down the stairs by a ghost. And when trying to leave, the thing is like, you want to play hide and clap? And she's locked in there. And then the sleepwalking daughter, Cindy, is back sleepwalking, banging her head against the dresser again. And so her big sister allows her to sleep in her bed with her putting her to sleep. As her doors start banging on its own, and so she goes over it, and Cindy pops up, and boom, this ghost house is on top of the dresser and she jumps on top of the older sister. Roger comes home in the nick of time and he finds Carol banging on the cellar door trying to be let out. He lets her out, and meanwhile the daughters is upstairs and they're screaming, and he's just like, what the hell is going on? It's a lot. So dealing with all of this, Carol finds Ed and Lorraine and she asks for help, and they agree to go and investigate the house. They come to the conclusion that there is a dark entity latched to them, and it doesn't matter where they go because it will surely follow. There's a lot of spirits in the house, but there is one that's following them in particular that is the most dangerous, and the only solution is an exorcism. Doing research, Lorraine found out that a couple lived there, Bathsheba and Jetson. Bathsheba had a baby and it was only 7 days old, and she sacrificed it, and then she took her own life and proclaimed her love for Satan, and she cursed her land. Now in future instances, people that have taken her land, they end up taking their lives or disappearing. The house is then later spirit proof to capture evidence of paranormal activity so that they can get permission to get the exorcism. There is some movement when the cellar door opens on its own, and Lorraine and Ed goes down there, and Lorraine can sense that there's something there, but nothing else happened after that. Family overall is doing a lot better with the help of Lorraine and Ed. They are able to enjoy small things like eating breakfast and going out for ice cream. Ed and Lorraine are also helping around the house, and while doing laundry, Lorraine sees a spirit in Carol's room, Bathsheba, who seems to have taken control over Carol, and when Lorraine runs to her room, Carol dismisses her, saying that everything is fine. Well, like, girl, you just saw that spirit up there. Like, you just gonna let her get out of the way like that? Like, you just did not see what you saw? Later that night, one of the men that was there, a policeman I think, is horrified by a spirit in the form of a maid, most likely being the maid that had took her own life due to the curse. Meanwhile, Cindy is back sleepwalking again, but this time there's a spirit attached to her. They watch her go inside one of the bedrooms and get locked in. Try their best to get in, but it's too late. Entering the room, they find her gone. Using a UV light, they are able to find her. There was a hidden room behind a dresser, and she is there unconscious. That's where a boy named Rory, who he hides there when he's afraid. The little boy Rory was also a victim of the curse, being forced to be taken out by his mother, who was possessed. Lorraine goes into the small hiding area to look around, and she collapses through the floor, which leads down to the cellar. Tormented by Rory's mother, who was forced to take her son's life, like I said, before being chased by Bathsheba. With that, Lorraine is able to determine that Bathsheba's motive is to possess the mother to take the children's lives, and that explains all the bruises on her because Bathsheba is feeding on Carol. Bathsheba shows her presence again, yanking Nancy, one of the daughters, by her hair and dragging her around until Lorraine is forced to cut her hair off. This is the family's last straw, and they're like, oh hell nah, we're getting out of here. The next morning they leave to prepare for the exorcism. Lorraine gets a vision of her daughter Judy in danger, and so she rushes to call home to see that her daughter is actually fine, but she feels like something is going to happen. They are able to get the exorcism approved, and back at Lorraine's house, Judy is woken up by being dragged by her feet, the motive of the ghost from before. Finds the door that leads to all the possessed artifacts open, and it appears that Annabelle is also out of her case. Judy is scared into a room because it gets completely dark, and Bathsheba is holding Annabelle in a rocking chair. But in the nick of time, Ed is able to get her out the room before she gets hit with the rocking chair. Bathsheba threw the rocking chair and was trying to hurt the little girl. While that's happening, Carol Dunn took Christine and April abruptly, clearly possessed and wanting to take their lives. She's taking them back to the house, and so Roger, Ed, and Lorraine follow after. When they get there, they all gang up on her because she is trying to stab Christy. They get her away, they get Christy away, and they put her in a car alone. Not gonna lie, if I was in a situation, I would literally go back in the house. Like, I don't want to be alone in a car. That's so weird and creepy. It's a struggle with possessed Carol, and after the failed exorcism, she is able to get loose and goes right after April, the younger daughter, because this dude here done told the whole world that she was hiding under the kitchen. And so Ed chases after her, and with the power of Christ and love, they are able to get Bathsheba for good. They're able to cleanse her from her possessiveness, and she is reminded that she loves her daughter and her family, and that she doesn't really want to kill her youngest daughter. And so yeah, please leave suggestions for my next video, please. Thank you guys for watching this little quick recap, and I hope you like, comment, and subscribe for more.